Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Welcome to another episode of IIP Discussions. And today we're going to go through two simple arguments on how to prove the existence of God. Now, there are multiple arguments that we can use to prove the existence of God. For example, the ontological argument, or the teleological argument, or the argument from motion. Today we're going to go through two simple arguments, the cosmological argument and the argument from necessary and contingent existence. Now, the cosmological argument, which is the argument from causation, goes like this. Premise number one is that everything that begins to exist has a cause. Everything that begins to exist will have a cause. Premise number two is that the universe began to exist. So what we're saying here is that the universe, it began to exist, and therefore 3 would logically follow, saying that the universe therefore has a cause, because remember, premise number 1 was everything that begins to exist has a cause. So if the universe began to exist, then obviously the universe will have a cause. Now, this line of causation, or how it goes, is that this object, for example, has a cause, and its cause has a cause, and its cause has a cause, and that cause has a cause, and the line keeps going on. Therefore, it is very logical for this line to be broken, because we cannot, it's not logical for us to end up in what is called an infinite regression, where there is no beginning. And this line must be broken. This line of causation, which this thing has a cause, and that thing has a cause, and that thing has a cause. And the only way it can be broken is through a cause that does not have a cause, that has no cause and no beginning. That is the only way this line of causation can be broken. Also, this cause must have the necessary knowledge and creative capacity to create this line of causation, because the first initial creator, the uncaused causer, must have the creative capacity to cause this line to start and continue to where it is today. And therefore, the only being that would fit into this criteria of having no cause, no beginning, and the necessary knowledge and creative capacity would be God. It has to be someone with supernatural powers, and that is only God. Now, argument number 2 is from necessary and contingent existence, and it goes as follows. A necessary existence is one that does not rely on anyone else to come into existence, it does not rely on anyone to continue its existence, and it does not have an end. Now, a contingent being, a contingent existence, is one that relies on something else to come into being, to continue its existence, and it will also have an end. For example, a human being, it is a contingent existence. Why? Because it relied on its mom and dad to come into existence. It relies on their help when it's a baby to grow up, and then it will also have an end. We all know humans will die. Now, this thing about relying, a contingent being will rely on another contingent being, just like I showed. The child will rely on its parents. Now that contingent being will rely on something else. That contingent being will rely on something else, and this line will keep going until we reach something that does not rely on something else. Because how can we keep relying on things that rely on things that rely on things? It cannot infinitely go on. There must be a time where it stops, where we reach a being, an existence that does not rely on something else. And that's why it's a necessary existence, because it exists to allow others to rely on it. The necessary existence is an independent being that does not rely on anyone else. And therefore, the only thing that we can classify as a necessary existence is God. What else could fit into this definition of a necessary existence? That was not created, does not rely on anything to continue its existence, and will not have an end. God does not have an end, it does not rely on anything else, and obviously God was not created. And therefore, this argument also shows that God must exist. And so these are two very simple arguments: the cosmological argument from causation and the argument from necessary and contingent existence, which show that God exists. And we did do a live stream on this a couple months ago, so if you want more information, you can check out the live stream. And I'll just leave you guys with one final point. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say about these people who don't believe in a creator? He says in chapter 52 verse 35, Surah Tur, أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون. He says أم خلقوا من غير شيء. Do you think that they were created by nothing? أم هم الخالقون, or they created themselves? أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض, or did they create the heavens and the earth? بل لا يوقنون, rather they know not. And so this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about these people who don't believe in a God or a creator. So that's it. These are the two arguments for the existence of God. And obviously, like I said, there are many more which you can find online and research about them, like the ontological argument put forward by Anselm, or the other cosmological arguments that are there, such like there are 5 different ways that the cosmological argument is argued. So you can look at these and you can see that really these arguments against the existence of God are very weak, and it is very easy to prove the existence of a creator, which is God. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.